Violent incidents on school campuses are every parent's worst nightmare. In 2001, Washington State developed the Critical Incident Planning and Mapping System to give school administrators and first responders a state-of-the-art tool to combat violence in schools. The system was developed after the tragic Columbine school shootings.
All of the issues that came out of Columbine in dealing with the issue itself, dealing with the injuries, dealing with reunification issues with students and parents were the impetus to build this program.
The secure computer-based system works by providing police, fire, and other public safety agencies with critical information about a facility. Floor plans, utility shutoffs, evacuation routes, and images of the building are gathered and then stored in the system. All the state's high schools and most middle and elementary schools have been mapped in the system.
Pre-planning for incidents, whether that's developing a detailed plan or having floor plans available, utility shutoffs, that kind of thing. Anything that saves time in the response of an incident saves lives.
One such incident occurred at Lewis and Clark High School in Washington's second largest school district. A student brought a gun to school and fired a shot in a classroom. The system provided first responders with instant access to classroom floor plans, utility shutoffs, lists of hazardous chemicals that were stored in the classroom, and emergency plans on how to deal with such an incident.
In my mind, I had a model, a level of understanding, and I felt confident knowing that there was something going on outside of the building where people were organizing themselves and that we were going to be taken care of.
All 2,000 students were evacuated from the school in 20 minutes, and the entire incident was resolved within an hour, with the gunman being the only person injured. What helped during this incident was that first responders had a plan in place before the shooting happened. Part of the mapping process is to have administrators and first responders gather to develop safety plans before an emergency unfolds.
All of those agencies had to sit around the table to tell each other what was important to them, to tell the person who was going to do the mapping what was important to them, so that we could come up with a comprehensive plan that served all of the various agencies at the table.
They pre-plan for a worst-case scenario incident, typically active shooter in a school, but we've also done bomb threats, earthquake scenarios, but we plan for the worst so that if something less than the worst happens, you can kind of scale back from that worst case scenario plan.
Higher education facilities are now being added to the system. These typically large, sprawling campuses create a unique challenge that aren't seen in most public schools.
The mapping system allows the administration to know in what building, what room something is going on, what type of instructions to give the rest of the campus, whether or not they should evacuate immediately or lock down.
The system has evolved from a tool to protect schools to something much more robust. The Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs, the organization that oversees the deployment of the system, has expanded the program to include critical infrastructure and public buildings throughout the state. These range from sports stadiums and shopping centers to seaports and ferries.
Those public areas that could potentially be either targets of domestic or international terrorism, or in the event that we have a natural calamity, having that mapping software is just invaluable.
For more information on Washington State's Critical Incident Planning and Mapping System, please call the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs at 360-486-2389.